My wife walked out on me and our infant daughter, claiming she couldn't handle the pressures of motherhood. Now 15 years later, she's returned with her boyfriend, demanding full custody and threatening legal action if I don't comply. But what her sister revealed in court left everyone shocked, and now she will never see her daughter again. My name is Tom, 35, and I guess you could say I'm in a situation I never thought I'd be in. This all started back when I was just 20 years old. I met Megan, 35F, during our junior year of high school. She was everything to me, smart, funny, and we just clicked in a way that made it seem like we were meant to be together. We were inseparable. We didn't get married, though. Marriage felt too big, too permanent, and honestly, we thought we had all the time in the world. We were just living life, two young people in love, trying to make it in the world. Back then, I was working my butt off trying to build a career in finance. I started off as an intern, getting coffee and running errands, but I knew that if I worked hard enough, I'd eventually move up. Megan, on the other hand, was a barista at a local coffee shop. She didn't make much, but we were surviving. We lived in this tiny apartment, but it didn't matter because we hit each other. Life was good, or at least it seemed that way. Everything changed when Megan got pregnant. It wasn't planned, but we were excited in our own way. We were scared, sure, but we thought we could handle it. When our daughter, Mia, was born, it was the most beautiful, terrifying day of my life. Megan went through a brutal 14-hour labor, and I could see the toll it took on her. After Mia was born, Megan seemed different. She was struggling, but I thought it was just because of the exhaustion from the labor. I had no idea how bad things were going to get. The first few weeks after Mia was born were rough, to say the least. Megan became distant, almost like she was a different person. She'd spend hours just staring out the window, and when she did speak, it was to criticize me. She'd snap at me, call me useless trash, and it felt like nothing I did was ever good enough. I tried to be understanding, thinking it was just the stress of being a new mom. I was doing my best to juggle everything, work, taking care of Mia, and trying to support Megan, but it was overwhelming. I'd come home after a long day, completely drained, only to find that Megan hadn't even touched Mia's things. She'd be sitting there, doing nothing, while our daughter cried in the next room. I didn't know what to do. I was terrified of saying the wrong thing and making it worse. Then, one day, I came home from work, and the house was eerily quiet. I walked into Mia's room, and there she was, crying her little lungs out in her crib. She'd been left alone for hours. I frantically searched the house, but Megan was gone. Her clothes, her personal items, everything was gone. No note, no explanation, nothing. I tried calling her, but her phone was off. I contacted her parents, her friends, anyone who might know where she went, but no one had any answers. After months of searching, I finally had to accept that she wasn't coming back. She had abandoned us, just like that. Adjusting to single fatherhood was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. In the beginning, I was a mess. I was sleep deprived, stressed out, and constantly worried that I wasn't doing enough for Mia. But I had a lot of support from my parents and my sister. They stepped in to help whenever they could, and I don't know how I would have managed without them. I figured out how to balance work and taking care of Mia. It wasn't easy, but I made it work because I had to. As Mia grew up, I made sure she had everything she needed. She was a happy, well-adjusted kid despite everything. I was honest with her about her mother leaving, but I kept the details vague. I didn't want to burden her with the full story, at least not until she was older. Mia was a bright, curious child, and she asked questions, but I always tried to keep my answers simple and reassuring. For years, my focus was entirely on Mia and my career. I didn't date much. Didn't really have the time or energy for it. But when Mia turned 12, I met Olivia, 33F. We took things slow, and she was incredibly understanding of my situation. Olivia and Mia got along well, and that was important to me. After a while, Olivia and I fell in love, and we've been together ever since. Life was good, my career had taken off, Mia was thriving, and Olivia was a wonderful addition to our lives. So, here's where things take a turn.